My name's Duddit, I do builds and stuff, and today I've got the most busted Titan build you have ever seen. Synthoceps, Strand, you are going to go through these enemies like a hot knife through butter. Even better than that, you are a radioactive knife. Green fists, you've got unravelling rounds coming out of your poop hole. It is absolutely crazy. Unravelling rounds everywhere. Massive melee damage increase, including Synthoceps. It's going to buff our melee damage, buff our super damage. Absolutely crazy. And I've also got some weapons to show you that fit perfectly with this build, so stay tuned. I'm going to break it all down, but some absolutely massive melee damage. Synthoceps, increased melee lunge range, improved melee and super damage when you are surrounded. The Strand Titan super is already pretty strong, but with these bad boys on, your super is absolutely crazy. Not only that, it's going to buff your melee damage and your grapple melee damage as well. It's absolutely crazy. Your grapple melee is already strong, and again, this just buffs that even more. So, super damage. When you're surrounded, which is very, very easy to do, you will notice in these clips I've got biotic enhancements up pretty much all of the time. That enhances your super with the Synthoceps, and these are GM level enemies, and like I said at the beginning, you literally go through these like a knife through butter. You've got so much green unravelling rounds as well, which we'll go into a bit more. And all these unravelling rounds even give you extra damage on top of everything else that you've got going on. Now, the grapple melee, during and shortly after grappling, your melee attack deals area damage and unravels targets. Just look at that damage, 273,000 on Carl. That's with the biotic enhancements procced. Absolutely crazy. And again, GM level enemies, they just get punched into another solar system. It's absolutely fantastic build. You've got that biotic enhancements up all of the time. Just look at that, it takes a quarter of this overload's health off, and then we just switch into our shotgun, again, which we'll go into in a moment. But he just absolutely smashes him, and again, then biotic enhancements are consistently up. Heavy-handed is something I run on my gauntlets. Your powered melee final blows create orbs of power. You get loads and loads of these. I run double of them to enhance the size of the orb. And then Font of Vigor, it gives me plus 30 strength. Whilst I've got an orb of power, and you'll notice there I've got 70 strength, so I've got 100 strength all of the time. And because for the heavy-handed you're creating orbs, what I like to do is run Thread of Warding. Picking up an orb of power grants you Woven Mail, so obviously you're going to be up close with enemies, getting plenty of orbs. You get that to get that extra 40% damage reduction, and you get this all the time. And then you've got Thread of Propagation, powered melee final blows, also grant your Strand weapons unravelling rounds. So we've got loads and loads of different ways to get unravelling rounds. And then the grapple itself also, as again I just want to sort of touch on, it does unravel targets as well with the actual melee. So like so, you've got unravelling rounds from your fragments and unravelling rounds from the actual melee. And these little beauties just act as extra damage. They will literally fly around everywhere. They look like little wolf pack rounds. They do so much damage, little ticks everywhere. Really, really strong. It's just a really nice little bonus. Now, there's quite a few Strand weapons in the game at the moment, but until it's returned, the shotgun, the Strand shotgun, is really, really good. Overflow, picking up heavy ammo automatically, or special ammo automatically loads this weapon beyond its normal capacity. And then because we're running Synthoceps, want to be surrounded, we may as well put surrounded on there for an extra 42% damage increase on the shotgun as well. And this fits perfectly with this build because you've got your surrounded going, you've got all your unravelling rounds going on, and it's absolutely crazy. You've got your Woven Mail consistently procced as well. And against like Lost Sector, things like that, it's really, really strong. GM levels, it is just really, really strong as well. And the ad clearing capabilities of this build, as well as the actual pure damage output, is absolutely fantastic. You will rinse everything. And even in like real tight situations against servitors, it's just destroying them. On top of that, we've got Strand Soldier and Improved Unravelling. Your Strand weapons gain unravelling rounds whenever you've got Woven Mail, and then I've got Improved Unravelling to make your unravelling rounds do extra damage on the artifact. These will go away at the end of the season, but this does not make or break the build. It's just an added bonus. It's already pretty strong without these because I tested it without them, and it's absolutely crazy. You can still suspend things with your Drenger's Lash as well, using your Barricade. So you've got everything covered. Your anti-barrier rounds are covered as well with the unravelling. You've got Unstop, and then you can always bang an overload trace rifle or scout rifle on in between the two weapons. So it's really awesome. I've absolutely loved running this build the last 3 or 4 days, and it destroys every single piece of content in the game. It is absolutely immense. So now what I'm going to do is just quickly go over my fragments and aspects just to sort of nail it. And then what we've got Into the Fray, destroying a tangle or casting your super grants woven mail for you and your nearby allies. When you have woven mail, your melee regeneration is increased. Obviously an excellent bonus for your Synthoceps. Drenger's Lash, activate your class ability to create a ripple in reality that travels forward, damaging targets along the way. And it also suspends, so it's, as I said, really good for unstoppables. And suspending things is really good as well for your surrounded perks. Thread of Continuity, suspend, unravel and sever effects applied to targets have an increased duration. Thread of Warden, which we've touched on for that woven mail. Thread of Propagation, again, which we've touched on. And then Thread of Generation, dealing damage, generates grenade energy. All really good fragments to run. Crowning Dialogue, I just want to sort of touch on this one because it's sort of a bit of a main weapon at the moment, but when you've got this with something like Swashbuckler, it's a Strand weapon, you're going to get unraveling rounds on this. And as you can imagine, your Swashbuckler, it's a ×5 bonus. I think it's 35% extra damage, and you're always going to be melee and stuff, so it's a really nice little fit. If you've got one of these lying about, you might have saved one, or you might just get one in your next couple of weeks doing the bonfire bash. But it's a really nice little option to run, and it does plenty of damage again in GMs. It is really solid, especially with them unraveling rounds going off like little mini wolf pack rounds. So just a couple of options. Now we'll just go over my mods. Strand weapon surge is what I focused. I just really wanted to get the most out of my weapon surges for Strand. So 3 of them is actually 22%. Consistently got these going up the way I've got these mods set up as well. On my class item, I like to run time dilation to make our armor charges have a little bit longer duration. And I also like to run the Reaper mod because you use your class ability quite a bit. You got 100 resilience, so your next weapon kill after using that will spawn you an orb. Outreach to reduce your melee cooldown even more. On my chest piece, I always run a concussive dampener with close builds, and then whatever resistance you may need, whether it's arc, solar or void. And I always like to run a Strand reserves for my rocket and my shotgun. Really makes a big difference. But concussive dampener for shotgun builds is an absolute must. On my arms, I like to run Font of Vigor because what this does, it gives you plus 30 strength, and as you'll notice there, I've got 70, so plus 30 is 100 every time I've got an armor charge. It boosts that up, so that's great. Heavy-handed, which we touched on, double them up just to get your extra super, because you get a bigger orb when you run 2 of them. And then the very last thing to go over is my helmet. Hands-on is a really good mod to run. Gain a bonus super energy on melee kills. You get so much super energy with this mod. Heavy ammo finder is a no-brainer. I like to run these all the time on most of my builds, and then harmonic siphon or strand siphon to create plenty of orbs with your strand weapons. But that is the build. I'll leave everything playing out in case I didn't explain it well enough, and I'll also leave a dim link in the video description. So let me know what you think of this. Give it a try. Please get back, let me know if you enjoyed it, give us a thumbs up, and consider subscribing, especially if you like Destiny 2 builds, because I love making builds. Right, I hope you have a great week. Thanks for watching.